Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're having a fantastic day to you and your family. Obviously, we're taking a look at Bitcoin, kind of seeing what's going to happen potentially next. We're going to look at some smaller Fibonacci retracement levels as well as just generally where this might head next if it were to continue further up. It does look like it's having the signs that it wants to do that. And as we reviewed this yesterday, it was looking like it wanted to break down, but that has since changed. We're making higher highs, higher lows, and still effectively holding in pretty good shape above that resistance level there, right at close to 23,000. Okay, so 23,000 to me, closure above that today would be pretty indicative of further upside. Just know we have some resistance between 24 and 25,000. We need to kind of respect that. And it makes sense that the price would continue a little bit further before it comes back down. But at that point, if it does continue further, keep this in mind, it will have to come back down at least a little bit. Again, we're still overextending the RSI, MACD is starting to turn around, so there's a handful of reasons why that might happen, but for now, patience is key. So if you're new to the channel, just know this, I've been trading for a long time, 17 years, 17 plus rather, and been teaching most of that time as well. So I created a trading academy community and signal group where you can kind of learn to do everything that I do and of course, become a better trader. So we have signals that I send out that are awesome and just a fun aspect of the trading community because we all kind of learn about, kind of what good structure goes into trades because we have specific strategies and, they're sent out through futures, of course, through Bybit and Binance futures. Okay, so Bybit, speaking of Bybit, I recently partnered with them here and I'm going to send out some more information. We're going to have monthly competitions with them as well. Be sure to use the link in the description below to benefit from that. But generally speaking, at this point, Bitget and Bybit are awesome exchanges. I love Bybit because they have a connection to Cornix, and that's where I send out all my signals. Right, so that'll greatly benefit my community. That's the main reason for that. But of course, Bitget is fantastic for manual trading. There's a $10,000 prize pool, $10,000 prize pool monthly. So be sure to check that out. Last but not least, obviously, and consider using ExpressVPN. There is 3 months free with a 12-month plan. I partnered with them recently, been using them for years. You will need a VPN for any type of leverage exchange that you're going to be using outside of a country that's restricted or inside of a country that's restricted because you're essentially using a different location. All right, anyway, that's all there. Check it out down below. It's also available in my referral links in my Discord. So with Bitcoin, what we need to understand too is there's a handful of things happening here. So the ascending trend is currently holding. Okay, so even though we wicked down, we're still holding above this ascending trend. We are still over 70 on the RSI, which typically I don't love, but at this point it can essentially work as a support level. So just say the price were to pull back, I don't think a pullback to the 19, 18, 17,000 range would be very likely. I think it would make more sense for the price to pull back to maybe fill that gap, that CME gap between 19,900 and 23,000. So this range here between 19,900 and 20,000, or right around 21,000, this is the area we might see a large pullback. Okay, but immediately, if we were to see a leg down, I think that 21.7 mark is a pretty good place to take a long position. Okay, so if it were to pull back, that'd be a good place to add. Main reason why is there's a tremendous amount of volume here. That's a previous resistance level, turn support, and I just think that in general, this range here is going to hold pretty strong if the price were to pull back. There's also a lot of new volume coming into the market as well. Bitcoin dominance is still on the increase, as well as altcoins doing well. Okay, so when you see the combination of Bitcoin and altcoins increasing, it tells you there's a lot of newer money coming back into the market. Okay, so that's a fantastic sign. So we have mostly positive stuff here, but keep in mind we still have a potential bearish divergence here on the MACD forming. This is continuing to get stronger and stronger. So unless the price were to increase significantly from here, we will start to see some type of capitulation where the price comes back down. Okay, so just be mindful and ready for that. Good news is, once more again, this range here at about 19,600 is where the 200-day SMA is forming. We can also see the 50-day working its way up. This does work itself into a golden cross eventually. So there's a great chance, even if with a pullback, we'll see those two connect and converge, so to speak, to give us a push to the upside. Okay, so we've got some positive stuff on the horizon. Again, mostly good here in that sense, but on the same accord, I wouldn't be surprised if the price drops out just based on the fact that we do have two ascending type of patterns here. And the more often you do this, the more likely it is to retrace. Okay, so again, you can only go so far in one direction until it turns itself around. So on the 4 hour, we can see a couple of positive signs here. That's a little different than yesterday. We can see the RSI getting a bounce here off 50. Keep in mind, RSI is coming down and the price is going up. Okay, that does tell us that there's a good chance that we could see a bounce here in the relative near future. And when I say bounce, I just mean another potential increase here, because 50 on the RSI is holding very strong. So that's usually a positive sign. We can also see a potential convergence on the MACD here as well, kind of telling us that, hey, a long position, maybe a swing position, might be more viable than a short. Okay, and I like to emphasize the word might because it's not 100%, but it does tell us that, hey, there's a good chance that this momentum is continuing further, and then we can see this ascending trend essentially holding. Okay, now again, if you look on the 4 hour here, you can see it's kind of below, but it's working within. But more importantly, when you see the daily, and the daily candlestick closure is important, you can see we're working above this ascending trend, and we're still ascending bullishly on the daily. And again, trend lines are more concrete and more they're stronger on larger time frames. Okay, so again, I'd much rather trust the daily than the 4 hour. But granted, albeit nonetheless, 4 hour time frame looks fairly positive as well. Okay, so we have this shift from yesterday showing lower highs and lower lows to potentially higher highs and higher lows, right? So we can kind of see the lower highs forming there. Now we have higher highs. Okay, so we just create a new higher high and we're having higher lows. That is a bullish change in direction, right? So we're no longer breaking bearish. And I got some comments from yesterday too. It's like, where's the pullback? Well, there's no guarantees in trading, right? And what it is, it's all statistical probabilities. Even though we had a stronger likelihood the price would continue lower yesterday, we broke that likelihood with higher lows first and then higher highs, right? So you see how this higher low occurred? That's the first sign. Second sign is higher highs, and that's a very positive sign. So all in all, very good stuff. I'm willing to speculate we're above the cloud now too, which we are. This is a bullish sign here. So a candlestick closure above 23,000 today, I think would be a firm indication we're going to probably continue higher, preferably 23.1 or 23.2 though. We want to have it somewhere in that range or above. But this is telling us some really, really good stuff here as well. We can take a look at volume. Hasn't really changed too much there, but the bottom line is that the conversion line is well above the baseline now. We have that bullish momentum to the upside. We are above the cloud here. We have been for about 2 or 3 hours. That's pretty much confirmation if you ask me. And then furthermore, we also have the lagging span that's just kind of breaking free right here. Okay, so it's not definitive, it's not fantastic. You want something more, I guess you could say, more defining, but for the most part, that's a positive sign here. Okay, so really everything we can extract here so far is slightly more bullish than bearish. Okay, so to me, further upside to retest 24,000 makes more sense than a retest of the 21,700 mark. However, keep in mind that could obviously change if we start establishing lower highs, lower lows. We'll figure that out throughout the weekend. You always have to be dynamic and continue to reevaluate as a trader. So try not to just take this message here and to run with it full time. There's no guarantees, right? So again, the price comes up to a certain level, you might want to consider selling, or the inverse as well. Okay, so it's an interesting situation in how trading is. It's always something you got to work with, but work within your risk tolerance. You got to discover that for yourself. If you're new to trading, consider demo trading on Bitget or Bitget. Again, register in the links down below if you want to benefit from some of those registration benefits as well as the trading competitions. But generally speaking, no matter how you look at it, demo trading is a great way to start. So you're not leveraging and losing any amounts of money. You're learning from your mistakes and you continue to get better. That's essentially what I am. I'm a series of unfortunate events. And it just led me here, right? So learn from those things and continue to grow. That's the whole point of the concept that we have as a community. We're all learning and growing together. It's a fantastic situation. So be sure to check that out in your own time if you haven't already. Once again, cryptocash.tech is a site. I look forward to working with you. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.